Welcome to ASU Online Math 170 Pre-Calculus. This is a quick start video to welcome you to the course and set you up for success to show you how to navigate through the resources we're providing you. So this is our Canvas shell, and where you probably clicked already is the Welcome to 170. That's where this video is contained. There is the syllabus, which we're going to take a review of. There should be also your instructor contact and office hours where your section instructor's name is listed, email, contact information, and office hours. The main thing we want you to do as a first thing is to go to Alex, go to McGraw-Hill Alex. That's going to be our online homework system. So you'll click on here, and you can do this before even knowing what the course is about. So this is your first step. You click here. You'll click here. I'm not going to do it because I'm already connected, but what that will do is it will open up the Alex window and ask if you've usually, it does, been told by some students, some don't get this message, but it usually will ask you whether you've used Alex before or not. You should, if it does, you should just tell it no, because you haven't used it with this course. And we want it to go through. And Canvas knows which course it's supposed to hook up with, so then it will get you into the right course. If you say you've used it before, then it asks you for some other ID stuff that we're not providing and we don't have, and we don't need if you just say no and then move forward. Okay, so then that's going to link your Canvas course with an Alex course, and when you come in, you'll see some screen potentially like this. Actually, it'll walk you through some tutorials on how to use the tools, go through them. Eventually you get to the starting place. I'm going to backtrack a little bit because before we talk too much about how to get started in Alex, I want to show you that we've got resources in Canvas for everything we're going to do. Okay, but that's our first step that sort of says, hey, I've come to Canvas, I've linked up my course, and now this puts you in the Alex gradebook. So we know that you're here to learn, to be in the course. Okay, let me come back to the syllabus and let's talk a little bit before we look at everything else. Interesting stuff here you can read through. Alex access is required, and if you just did what I did, click through, you've got the Alex access. It's got details about how the cost for the materials and such. You do need a graphing calculator for this course. Alex does provide one. We do have access through desmos.com, but it's also very helpful to have a graphing calculator. The instructor initiated drop, if you've linked up your Canvas to your Alex course, you won't have to worry about this. We know that that's the signal, is that you're here to be in the course. So let's look at the suggested pacing calendar. Hopefully you're doing this early in the week, possibly as early as Monday is when the course was supposed to become available. Tuesday and Wednesday, the course is not officially started, but those are great times to get started in learning. We have two sort of review objectives, objective A and B, that go over some important parts of algebra, and that's going to be sort of the first partial week because we start on Thursday. We'll have you complete those, and then on Sunday, this is, you'll see, is during the week there are these objectives, which is basically a homework to complete. And once you get that all done, on Sunday you get graded points for it. So you'll see some due dates that will pop up for Friday because we want you to get the weekly work done day by day and be done by Friday, but you actually do have through Sunday. So you can read through the syllabus and it will explain that, but sometimes you say, oh wait, it's due Friday, I thought it was due Sunday. Sunday is the graded portion. Friday is sort of a keep you on track sort of thing, but we know many of you may need the weekends to be able to get your best studying done. So we've allowed a lot of flexibility into this course. We've designed it into the course. The next week is where it sort of gets regular. So we're going to have an objective every day. It's the first full week. And so you're going to want to work through objectives 1 through 5. I'll go back into Alex. Basically, everything is in Alex except for 2 assignments. All the tests are in Alex, all the homework's in Alex. Only the guided instructions 1 and 2, those are contained in Canvas. So this is a good thing to keep track of where you're supposed to be. So after the first week, what's going to happen is Sunday again, there's the sun points. Those will go into, they transfer directly from Alex into Canvas. So you'll see that happening. And it's based upon the percent of the objectives that you completed. So if you complete 100%, you'll get all the points. If you complete 50%, you'll get half the points, and so forth and so on. At the end, there's this assignment called Week 2 Review. Now you can start it before Sunday, and actually you can work on it after Sunday, but what this review is it's going to review the objectives 1 through 5 for that week, and they are going to focus on getting you ready for the exam type questions we're going to have. So there'll be a limited number of topics in there, and you'll want to work through that until you get it to 100%. It's one of these things where you go in, if there's 12 questions, you can work on them, you can submit it, it will tell you which answers are correct and which are not correct yet. You go back in a second time and it will have you work on just the ones that you missed until you get 100%. Then you can go back in again and it will give you all new questions from those same types of topics and allow you to practice more and more. It will take your highest score. So once you reach 100%, you will receive all the points. Now there's a first due date of this Sunday. What I have also done is done an alternative due date so that it will remain open and you can still earn points all the way up to the exam, because that's really what we want. These reviews are going to help you get ready for the exam. We do want you doing it on a weekly basis. However, we understand, especially maybe there was one or two that you just didn't get, but if you move forward, sometimes those things start making sense a little bit down the road. So then you could go back, finish them up. So a goal to get them done by the Sunday of the week that they're due, but also a secondary due date where you can still earn full points all the way up to the exam. Okay, and that's basically what you'll do each week. Okay, we have half of the course is an algebra course. So we'll go through that and we'll have you take one algebra exam. Then we switch gears and we go into trigonometry. So 15 objectives 15 through 25 are trigonometry. We've got a trig review and the trig exam, and that's how it is. The final exam is not comprehensive. It will be only the trigonometry part. The algebra exam is only on the algebra part. Also, this algebra review, what it is, in the trig reviews, what they are is they are all of the weekly reviews in one place. So it's like a really good practice test, plus anything that got missed. Like objective 14 wasn't on any of the reviews, so it's included in the algebra review. It's going to be good to do that as well. I think those are worth like 5 points extra credit. So that's what those reviews are there for. Give you some space, get you ready to take the exam. You can actually, once the exam becomes available, you could take it at any time. I believe the algebra exam, you can check, is going to be open this earlier Saturday. So this is a course where you can work ahead, but during a given week, what happens with the objectives, it locks everything else out except for what you've completed. So when you're in this, let's call this week 4, only objectives 10, 11, 12, and 13 will be available to you until you finish them all. Once you finish them all, you could go back to previous objectives or work ahead. Okay, so that's how that all works. Okay, I want to try to make this as brief as possible, so let's just go back into Canvas and kind of detail out how each objective is set up. And you can find different ways to work it. There's some information in here, again, about the cost of the material, some more information to share. But the basic part of the course is working through these modules. So the first module, Module A, Review of Equations and Inequalities, we'll click on this, and you'll see we've got these first two. So there is a sort of lecture, a direct instruction video, which will cover the types of questions and things you'll need to know to work in Module A. They're about somewhere between 25 to 30 minutes or so each, depending upon, and it's a way to basically get the information you need to go and then go ahead and go in and do it. There are notes for each of them. I'll go ahead and click on that. You'll see this. Much of the lecture is based on the notes, so they are there to help you sometimes see more detail, sometimes see some additional examples, and sometimes see the same examples but in written form rather than video form. So we see we're going to be asked rational equations, works through some things. So complex numbers, there's some explanations, some reading. So it helps you see what's going to be in the section. So another review is that those written notes. The slides are what are used in the video. So they're not real helpful because they're not completed. You could click on them and you'll see they're basically an outline of what gets done in the notes, but I wanted to provide them. And then these videos are new to the course. What I'm also providing is the videos from the prior course that might be helpful. Sometimes they have additional examples and stuff. So these are additional resources, but well, I clicked on one, so you could open up those videos and you may find them helpful. So the idea is that you come in, watch the video. If you need to review the notes, review the notes. Then come back here to our home. You want to go into Alex. Now, there's also this link over here. What I found is when I use that, it opens up a window within Canvas, so you never leave Canvas, but Alex will be running inside of Canvas. You can do it that way. If you prefer to run Alex outside of Canvas, you click on this link again, and it'll open it up, and it'll be in a separate tab like I've got over here. Okay. So let's say objective A, we went ahead and watched the video. One way you can just start my path and go here, but what I want to show you is a way to navigate, because this will, as you get further in here, you may want to do this. You go to the three little arrows, you go to learn, and then you do what we call a double drop down. So there's this drop down arrow here, you're going to click on that. In a moment, there'll be a drop down arrow up here. We're in review for objective part A. See, are we in review or are we in learn? We should be in learn. Part of this is I'm making this video ahead of time, so it may appear a little bit. The course is not officially opened. But what you'll see here is when I click here, there are 13 topics. That's 13 questions in part A. Now to learn each one of them, you'll have to work through them 2 or 3 or more times. You'll get a specific question. So these 13 are 13 types of questions. I'm showing that I have no prerequisites, so pretty much ready to move ahead. And what we do is we just sort of click on the first one. What I'm going to show you though is there are some topics up here which are locked. What that means is we can't jump to this one. We have to work the ones before. Once we learn these 2 topics, it will say, okay, now you're ready for this. So if you see a topic that's locked, it just means you have prior learning to do. So a lot of these are going to be locked until we learn these first 2. Now, if I want to start with the second one, I can because it's unlocked, whichever way you want to do this. And what Alex will do is they give you an explanation to start off with. So we could come down here. Let's read through the explanation. Now that we know how to do it, we can actually start it. And this is where we're in the course. You're given a question, you need to answer it, and then you can check it, submit it, and it will tell you whether you're right or wrong. Up here, there's 0 to 5. After answering enough correct, we will have this marked as learned, and we'll move on to the next topic. If we learn a couple in a row and then we miss one, it may back us up, but it's the Alex artificial intelligence system trying to make sure we really understand what we're doing. Okay, so this is a topic level, and you'll work through those. Okay, what you'll see in here is that each week you've got the objectives. Notice the sun point will be for A and B. There's 25 total topics here. 13 plus 12 is 25, and that's how it adds up. For the next week, we've got our 5 modules, modules is what they call them now. And there's 38 total topics for the week. So you'll see the sun points that are due Sunday are the 38 topics that are here. So when you're working on these 8, you've got these 8 done, you'll see this will be down to, you'll have 8 of these completed because they're copies of each other. So as you work through these objectives, you are earning the sun points. So I hope that makes sense. A lot of this is, don't worry about understanding too much. You'll learn by doing. Okay, so keep moving forward and reviewing things, and once you get started, it starts to make more and more sense. So there's a listing of all the topics we're going to be going through by what they're called. There is the course breakdown of grades. Again, look over that, take a look. And if you have questions, contact personal questions about maybe grades and such. Those are best to address directly to your instructor through email. We also have the Inscribe community. So in here, again, I'm not sure if they've got these set up quite yet, but this is a system where you can ask questions, and then it allows other students, yeah, they haven't been set up yet, but you'll see that one fairly soon once you get in. Should be available by Monday. But the Inscribe community is where you can ask questions and anyone can answer them. Another student, we've got people who are from ASU Online who are monitoring, tutors, and your instructor as well. So we'll answer the questions through that way. But that's the basic way it gets started, and it's about learning, getting into modules, completing modules by learning topics and connecting them all together. Keep on working in Alex. The only time you have to come out of Alex is, you'll see in the Canvas, is right here, going to guided instruction 1, and the assignment's actually all contained here with the instructions. I've got to change those points. It's supposed to be 25, so I thought I had already done those, but I guess not. So by the time you get in here, you'll see those are all updated. But again, each of these modules contains a resource in having a sort of a lecture video to go over what you'll be working on. Kept them for right around 30 minutes, and then notes if you need to review further, and also some backup videos if you want to see some other things. Go into Alex, get the work done, and keep moving forward. All right, so we're going to stop it there. Wish you the best of success. Stay in touch with your instructors. Keep in contact with the online tutoring, Smart Thinking online tutoring. So those are there. Use the Inscribe community to ask questions, and together we will be able to build great success. Thank you so much.